I'm in my office right now. I'm gonna come a little bit closer because I don't feel like projecting my voice. I'm finishing up my makeup because I've been invited to a couple of New York Fashion Week shows. I'm so excited because this is going to be my second show ever. And I was thinking I'm gonna go for a very washed out look. No mascara, no eyeliner, which honestly makes it easier for me at the end of the night to remove anyway. I've kind of been enjoying just like the bare face makeup, probably because, you know, bleach brows are really in these days. As you know, I've always been a fan of the NYX lip liner. That was my go-to ever since I was like 14. But I don't have it right now, so. And then this is my favorite lipstick by Merit. But I wanted to chat because it's been another month that has passed. I felt really tired and I haven't been keeping up with YouTube. So there's just certain thoughts about that where a part of me was like questioning, should I quit? Is this like me not being able to handle it anymore because I've committed to this shop business life? But then a part of me is just like, you don't have to think so binary, so extreme. So I just do what I can, and at the end of the day, it's not like anything is gonna happen if I don't do anything, like if I don't do everything perfectly or according to plan. It's not the same as having consequences when I was like in school or something. There's like no boss above me, thank God. But being my own boss is also interesting because I find like I don't want to make it seem like that I'm not working as hard as them. And in a way, what ends up happening is I feel like they already know that I work really hard, but then what ends up happening is like I don't even want to take a day off because it makes me think like, oh, I don't want to take 1 or 2 days off of work because I don't want it to seem like they're here working and I'm just goofing off, hanging out somewhere else in the day. But then I'm thinking, I probably should do that because, for example, today is Tam's day off and she's off goofing off and I'm not really thinking anything. I'm just like here working. Before I get started though, I really want to say a big thank you to everybody who's shown me support so far. I haven't done an official announcement, but I'm going to be on the new reality TV competition series on NBC. It's premiering September 30th, and a couple of you have sent messages saying like, I saw you on a commercial and I wasn't sure because they didn't mention me by name or have any like really long cuts to my face. So for anyone who might have recognized me, you're correct. That is actually me. There's so much to share, so much to reveal. I will make a different video, I think. For now, this chat is just me poking my head out of the hole. That has been my routine, and I think anytime you feel a little bit burnt out or low in your routine, the idea is to introduce novelty to your evening. Like something I did one morning with Tam, which I was so happy to do. I told her, hey, I lost my makeup somewhere. I've been traveling a lot and it sucks, but I lost my like everyday go-to of makeup. I had that little pouch. And I basically lived without makeup for a few weeks, which was really good, really nice on my skin, rejuvenated. But it was about time that I was like, I feel ugly and I need my makeup, so let's go to Sephora at 10 in the morning, right when they open, and we can still make it back to the shop when we open at noon. So we got up extra early, went on a walk. We decided, yeah, let's get pastries and coffee, but not look it up and find a place. We're just going to walk and stumble upon something we've never seen before because it's not in our neighborhood. And that happened. That was really cool. And I actually made a new friend. By new friend, I mean like we connected on socials. I was like looking over her shoulder because she was working at a cafe and I saw she was working on really cool art. So we talked for a little bit and then she visited my store the next day and maybe we'll hang out sometime soon. So that was like a really amazing kind of like little reward from just breaking out of my routine. Like, yes, I went to Sephora and I got the makeup I needed. I also tried this new Lady Gaga makeup that sucked, so I returned it. And I got something from CVS instead to replace it because it is $19 cheaper. All to say that week, I felt like I really needed that tiny little bit of just change. Sometimes when you feel like your life is too repetitive. Same thing with the evenings. Like nothing is really stopping you from just doing a little bit of a different thing, whether it means going somewhere to read, going to a restaurant by yourself, catching up with a friend over phone call while doing laundry, or even like doing a night yoga class that you've never thought to do because you just don't work out in the evenings. That's all things that I've tried before, and it introduces just the idea that there's like more outside than your current perspective, and that is me right now. I'm like feeling really tired because I've been overworking myself a little bit too much, but also on the last 2 weekends I've been able to go out of town and really be off. Like I went to visit my sister for a day and a half. I also went to Pennsylvania with my partner, and when I don't bring my electronics with me, I pretty much don't do anything, and that's great because I'm actually a really not tech, what do you even call this, inclined person. So I'm not really like drawn to using my phone or browsing on my phone. It's easy for me to shut things off. So what I actually have trouble with is not being too intense and stressed out when I'm at the office, because I put like 7 different things on my plate every single day, and then I expect myself to execute it, which I do actually a lot, very often, but I don't necessarily think that's healthy because it's not sustainable. It's almost like when I was in school, you have that crazy month for finals week where all of your midterm projects or your big presentations are coming up all at once, and there's like 11 days of absolute chaos, and you're like, it's okay because I'm gonna push through this, and then I get 2 months off, like with summer vacation. Well, now my life, there is no cyclical nature of finals and summer break, like a 3-month thing, and I don't even give myself the cyclical nature of a weekend off. So bitch, get it together. Okay, like no one is forcing you to do this. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm fine-tuning. I'm fine-tuning how to rest, and I didn't realize how tired I was until I started taking days off. I started coming back to work feeling like, wow, so that's what it feels like to do this after like a real day off. Wow, that's good. I know the concept of importance of rest, slowing down, all that kind of stuff, but it's actually really difficult to assess when you're not in a job that is easily like measurable, where you don't have a lot of coworkers in the same experience as you, where they can kind of give you their input and give you like feedback as to like, this is how they're feeling. So then you can kind of be like, oh wow, yes, it is reasonable for me to take a break right now. When I'm just doing this all on my own, it can be very lonely because it's like no one really knows what's going on except me, and half the time I'm like trying to tap into my intuition, but then I'm like, still, I feel like the signals are crossing sometimes. So I feel like I've been thinking a lot about my worlds colliding. I've always been really big on authenticity, but also I think we all have multitudes within us. We all have versions of ourselves we carry with our most intimate partner, with our family members, with our going out girls group, versus when you're in a professional setting. So let's say all of those things. And I think when I did YouTube, for example, in school, I kept it very separate from who I was in my classes, and I almost never mentioned it in a way because I felt like it would be embarrassing to have the person studying fine arts also talking about really investing time and energy into content creation. And then most of my friends like didn't even follow me on my socials, because I would have like a personal one that I would interact with them on, and then I would only interact with more like public figure colleagues and peers with my Pyperbleu account. But then now it's all becoming mixed and confusing and gray area-ish, and I'm like constantly thinking about perception and being authentic, but then it's weird to be authentic when you're constantly perceived as well, because privacy is important. I think it's just like being like a human, like a one little animal on the earth, and then fathoming like thousands of people having opinions about you. That could definitely impact your mental health, but also as an artist, it will impact your creativity. And those are all things I think about pretty constantly. So especially with this TV show coming up, I'm really thrilled, but also like really nervous. Like I have a lot of anticipation because it's going to bring another wave of opinions and exposure, which is like a double-edged sword, because on one hand, I worked so hard to get that job. Like I wanted to be there for a chance to compete, and I wanted to show my skills and just like be the best I could be with all of the training that I've gotten, being able to make art and design in a more corporate setting, in a more commercial setting, versus always having done things in like a very indie way. So all of those things like really culminated, and it's definitely changed my life in a way I can't really quite see yet. But also it just means like a part of me, it's just like weird feeling like a part of me, I have the version of me that's like with my family and my friends, and I just feel like a child in the best way. Like I just care about playing board games, and the professional sphere of like, look at me, you should respect me because of this, you should follow me because of this, and we could work together because of this. So like all of that type of self-advocacy, and that is like work. It's a lot of work. And I guess that falls under the umbrella of putting yourself out there. And then there's a side of me that like wants to live in that world of art. Just like art making is very abstract, it's very philosophical and poetic, and I just want to like vibe there, and it has like nothing to do with the structures of money and capitalism, you know. There's like all of those things. So it's just a weird experience having it all like converge in so many ways, because I'm in a shop and I talk to people all day long. You can come and chat with me, you can meet me at any time. My personal friends come here, like Tam and I, we're like roommates. We also work together, we work alongside each other. So a lot of these things are like crossing, and ultimately I feel like it's for the best, because it almost feels like I have nowhere to hide anymore. There is no picking and choosing the side of me that I want you to see. It's just me. That's it. I'm just gonna live. I'm just gonna do the things I want to do. Hopefully it creates value for people. And then I'm gonna go to bed. God knows that like I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the viewership and all of the opportunities that come with that. So yeah, I just want to say a big thank you. And if you feel like you've relate to anything I said, like maybe gotta journal, maybe gotta think about who you want to be, what you want to do, and maybe choosing the bravery of like not holding yourself back, because it might be cringe in some people's eyes. Because at the end of the day, I understand what cringiness is, but I feel like cringiness, when you feel it, it's just a reflection of our accumulated experiences and throughout life that we've picked up on as a protective mechanism to tell ourselves to not do something, so that we don't get shunned by society. Because lizard brain says that if you get shunned by society, you will be left out in the cold and die alone in a cave. But that's not now. That's not the case anymore. So we just gotta do things, and the world moves really fast. So half the time, if you failed, no one will remember. Right now, I literally don't know where I'm going, where I'm headed, but I'm trying. And I do feel more authentic in a way that matters for me, not in a way that's like branding myself as authentic so that you would like me more, but just as I have more peace way. And with that, I will leave you. Thank you so much for tuning in to my August notes. It's not as polished, not as edited, but sometimes that is my life. When one thing requires my investment, another thing will be a puddle on the ground, and then it will switch off. The next video is going to be something I worked on that's really special, which is a ceramic gallery and sale that me and my small team hosted a couple of weeks ago, and I thought it went really well, so the remnants of that setup is just like there. Also, if you made it to the end, a couple of announcements. For New York friends, we are hosting a free clothing swap here on this side of the shop this weekend. This free weekend, it's like a back to school fall free clothing swap, so you just bring all of your fall cleaning and not spring cleaning clothes, bag of clothes, and then you can look through other people's stuff and take stuff for free. And then hopefully not too much will be left, but we will be donating everything else. And that is that. And if you've watched my Italy travel vlogs, that is where I talked about the launch of a new trip that I'm going to be hosting next year that you can join me on. So that has launched via TrovaTrip, and you're going to see that in the link below. So if you're interested in coming with me, we're going to have like 14 people max, and we're going to Ecuador, specifically the Galapágos, and there's a full itinerary you can read through. I'm designing 2 workshops that's going to be fleshed out as the time gets closer, because honestly, I'm not sure if it's going to get confirmed, because I need another booking by next week, or else due to the timing of things, it's going to go to another traveler who can actually book the trip sooner than me, so I will lose this actual date and window. So the trip effectively will be canceled if I don't get another deposit soon. So if you are interested, you can put a deposit down right away. You can do payment plans and think about it as time gets closer. But if there's any part of you that wants to come and are available next June 8th to come with Tam and me to the Galapagos, please check out that trip and get involved. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you in the ceramic show video.